Hello everyone, this is EGWwrites, the author and creator and voice of Lady Eilean. This audiobook video is a companion piece to the novel Lady Eilean, which is available to read for free at wattpad.com. You can find this book and a handful of others on my profile. To view that, please visit wattpad.com/EGWwrites. Two quick housekeeping notes before we get started. Number one, this book will contain adult content, so listener discretion is advised. Please use headphones or listen privately. Number two, I live in New York City, and as much as possible, will try to edit around city sounds like sirens, car alarms, shouting, traffic, and etc. But sometimes there is no avoiding it. My apartment is a little too small for a recording booth. Thank you for your patience. Now, grab a cup of coffee or tea, snuggle up, and let's read. Lady Eilean, Chapter 55. As Enos and I rejoined the group, it was clear that a plan had not been devised. I took Alex's offered handkerchief and doused it at the water pump. Swiping the cool fabric over my face helped me gather myself and focus on the task at hand. And she calls us the crazy ones, Ian chuckled when I had seen myself to rights. I laughed, feeling more lightness and joy than I had since my family's return. The eyes of the seer carry the scale, I quipped. All right, how do we save Elmsmere? I wonder. Alex looked at Callum. Could you take Eilean to the delegation? Have her argue her case and let the other lairds meet her? Get to know her? Blinking at the suggestion, I wondered why I had never considered it myself. Then the answer came. And leave Stormway? Bess was right. I couldn't abandon the people, even for the delegation. I don't suppose one of us could go? John asked, looking sick at the prospect. I hate politics, he said in response to my raised brows. Callum shook his head, shoulders rounded in defeat. No MacLeod is allowed on the premise. Father's legacy, making everyone else suffer for his choices, Walter grunted. I never questioned it before, but that seems harsh, Alex frowned. How do the other islands expect Elmsmere to bow to the influence of the Charter if they will not involve us in its creation? The rules are out of my hands, Callum said, shrugging. My annoyance sparked. Are we to be forever cut off, then? Communicating only with intermediaries? That is a waste of time, Callum. Yours especially. You promised me a new world, remember? This isn't it. Bowing and scraping for crumbs from the master's table. I'm trying, my lady, I promise you. He pleaded, his heavy brows knit in frustration. Then, as if struck by lightning, he jumped. Callum took a few steps backwards, eyes unfocused and jaw slack. He looked between Alex and me with grave face. Are you both refusing to leave? I am not leaving Stormway, I affirmed. Alex nodded. I'm staying right here. Callum beamed. May I have the laird's permission to commandeer the ships in the harbor? Piracy? Ian asked, eyes bulging. I laughed, having always expected Callum to be somewhat of a blackguard. By all means, take what you need. Are you going to tell me why? Of course not, Callum said, wrapping me up tight in a hug and kissing my cheek, but I am leaving this instant. What? I was bewildered. Now? What about our plan? Whatever it may be. The plan is afoot, and I know my part in it. Callum kissed me again and then bolted across the courtyard into the castle, his golden leg glinting in the torchlight. Where are you going? I called after him. He only laughed, and the sound bouncing off the castle walls was less than reassuring. Again, we're the unstable ones? Rupert asked, chuckling. With a sigh, I shook my head. Callum has never betrayed me. Whatever he's got brewing in his head, I'd rather him acting on it than sitting here running his mouth. Such a trusting little laird, Walter teased me, laughing. He reached across the circle and ruffled the top of my head. There were no words to express how hearing my title spoken by my brother made me feel. I could have melted into a puddle. They were on my side. All of them. Standing beside me in the sweltering night, exiles of mother and father's coldness. My brothers were hurt and healing and ruined, but they were no longer dutiful little soldiers ready to fall in line at our parents' behest. What are you going to do about the standing? Walter asked Alex. Alex shook his head. I'll figure something out. If I have to abdicate my title, renounce my family, have Callum adopt me, it doesn't matter. I'll do it. Walter nodded once, approving. I think we're all overreacting, I said, throwing up my hands. They met my statement with a chorus of disagreement and complaints about how I had just been sobbing into the dirt moments before. Relenting, I chuckled. Maybe not, but I can't think like this. I need to sleep. We'll figure it out tomorrow. It will take time to send word of a gathering, Bess said. At least for now, time is on our side. I grunted, overcome with exhaustion. So long as my mother doesn't concoct any other plans. No more elopements. That seems to throw her into a fit, Walter said, grimacing at John. My eldest brother shrugged, unflinching. Just following your example. We could elope. I looked at Alex, half joking. Ina shook her head. No, then you'd be the property of your husband. I know, she said when I protested. Calum is working on that too. But it's likely your mother would banish you and Alex from Stormway and you'd be in the same place you are now, trying to protect your people from your parents' influence. I let out a long breath. It was endless. The twists and turns of the problem snagged in our lap like a dropped skein of yarn. Aelin had the right idea. Let's sleep and figure this all out in the morning. Robert yawned. It's too goddamn hot to think. Rest assured, brother, that thanks to your support, I won't throw you in the dungeons like I've threatened as a child. I said this, trying to lighten the mood. Robert only smirked. Might be you who ends up in the dungeon now, Aelin. I didn't have a retort for that. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed the story. Subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell to be alerted when new chapters are updated. You can also follow me on Wattpad or Twitter at EGWwrites, where I will also share updates. As always, thank you for being a part of Aelin's journey. We are very glad that you're here. Until next time.